This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello viewer, do you know the pension fund administration and custodians in a growing economy like Nigeria can never be overemphasized? What are the importance of pension fund administrators and also pension fund custodian? This is going to be the topic for discussion today. Welcome to your #1 television business program. You are watching Business and Economy Network. I want to say a big thank you to all of you watching us in faraway Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ilori, Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto. Those of you watching us via the online channels and those of you watching us in South Africa, Ghana, London, I want to say thank you so very much. My name still remains Peter Mochi. Today for the program rundown, we are looking at pension fund administrators and also custodians in Nigeria. And for Spotlight, we have the Chief Executive Officer of First Pension Custodian Limited, a pension fund custodian doing very well in Lagos, Nigeria. For Company in Focus, we have the CEO of UBA Pension Custodian Limited, also in Lagos. Now for Special Report, we have the Chief Executive of STANBIC IBTC Pensions Managers Limited. All these are unique establishment and CEOs that are doing very well looking at the pension fund administrators and custodian in Nigeria. It's going to be an interesting watch. Relax, brace yourself up. You're going to learn two things and much more. Courtesy this program. I'll be back after this time out.
Hello, younger self. I just want to say thank you for deciding to live healthy. Thank you for keeping the right crowd that led to a partner that supports me. That decision led me to make the most important decision of all, making sure that I prepare for a secure future with the right partner. A partner that I can trust, that will ensure that I'm covered no matter what. ICO Pension Managers Limited. Now I can indulge in the things that matter to me. Thanks to you. You are a product of your decisions. Make choices that can stand the test of time, so when tomorrow calls, you'll answer with a smile. So, what decisions will you be making today? ICO Pension Managers.
First Pension Custodian Limited is one of the foremost pension custodians in the Nigerian pension industry. Mr. Kule Lawal Jinondo is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer. The firm has continuously answered to its name as it has been first in providing safekeeping practices that ensures pension client satisfaction always. First in custodian services designed to meet clients' need. First Pension Custodian is currently blessed with a number of custodian relationships, a reflection of a reasonable share of the pension market with innovative and experienced human resource.
Well, First Pension is one of the pioneer operators in the pension custody arena of the pension reform in Nigeria. As the name also sounds, tries to be first in everything. It's first amongst financial institutions and has done very well in this area that the group actually chose to operate within. And I think the peculiarity of the institution takes its roots also in the parents where it came out of. With the contributory scheme, certainly the answer is yes. It's adjudged to be the only sustainable route to ensuring the long-term future of pension administration and the services to the people you provide it to. I mean, what we had previously was an unfunded that we call the defined benefit scheme, largely, particularly in the public sector. Perhaps that also informed the attitude when there are shortfalls in government resources and the pension isn't always on the table as a priority, but in the contributory scheme, we all contribute, and so it becomes difficult for somebody to deny the contributor of its benefits at the time they are called. Going to the issue of multi-fund that you have just mentioned, it's nothing different really other than to try and identify or recognize the levels and age differences amongst the people who are participating in this scheme. What the multi-fund has simply done is to stratify it in a manner that people of specific age brackets are formed into the group that would serve them best. For example, you have the real definition around risk appetite of each person. And I'll use a simple example. Somebody who just came out of school, got a job, you're contributing. That person has minimum between 35 and 40 years to work. And there are assets class that this contribution can be invested in that are capable of returning so much under the principle of the more the risk, the better the reward. Now, because the risk is also there that you could lose those assets, now what you find is that the people of that age bracket goes in there in the belief that they get more rewards and that even if something goes wrong, they have a longer time to recover. Don't forget, most pension assets are for the long haul. They are not for short things, because people stay in employment forever. So, and because the investment is going to be forever anyway, people are going to fall into different brackets as they approach retirement. So what we are seeing in the multi-fund is that as people now get into a particular length of service or age bracket, they moved into another bucket. Well, typically we all tend to think that pension is about employment base. Because people in employment tend to have a structure. They have employers, they have things like that who can. You have decided that the employer should contribute something, the employee contributes something, and things like that. That is the general feeling. But the truth of it is that such people in a national, they constitute a very insignificant percentage of the population. Now, when things are good for those people and things are not good for the general society, it is not good also for them. So the idea now is to try and do an inclusive pension regime whereby you encourage people who hitherto do not have even employment to develop the culture of saving by saying, let's bring everybody into this, at least artisans, private employment people, myself, when I leave this place, I'll be out there, and then, so that we can manage ourselves also like people who have had an opportunity to work for somebody.
UBA Pension Custodian Limited is headed by Mr. Bayo Yusuf. The firm was incorporated as one of the first 4 licensed custodians with the unique number 001, which has given it a positive edge. The quest to be the leading pension fund custodian in Nigeria drives UBA Pension to deliver high-quality client services along with best-in-class technology as key competitive advantages. The company has set itself from an innovative viewpoint in the custody business as a differentiator among its peers. Points that stand UBA pension custodians out are timely, seamless, and efficient collection of pension contributions, schedules, and responsive services. At UBA Pension is all about getting the job done, getting it done now, and getting it done very well.
We're part of the first set of PFC that was licensed We got our license in December 2005. And surprisingly or interestingly again, our license is 001. So we are the first to got the license in 2005. And all of us were issued license team, the 4 of us then, but we are number 1. And ever since then, we started from ground zero. As you all know, the PFCs are a special purpose vehicle set up for pension assets and to be a backup service provider to the PFAs. We started from ground zero, and as of today, we have almost 2 trillion assets under custody. Of the top 10 PFAs in Nigeria today, as we speak, we have 5 of them, which test a lot. And when you look at the kind of unique services we offer at UBA Pension Custodian, though these services are basically the same thing across board, the Act clearly stated what a custodian should offer to a PFA. But in an industry where the service products are similar, our sources have been defined by the quality of our relationship. If you look at our mission, we said we adopt a stakeholders approach in the conduct of our business, and this has stand us out when you compare us with our peers, and that has been a great thing working for us. We take every PFA as individual, and we look at their needs, how best we can service them, because yes, they are all PFA, but they have their different needs, and this is what we've done over the years, tailored our services to their specific need, and that has been working for us excellently. I would say yes, because when you look at where we're coming from, it's a total departure from where we're coming from. Prior to 2004, where every organization, everybody was doing whatever they like, aside from the public sector and some multinationals that what we can refer to as pension scheme. What most organizations then was operating was a provident fund scheme, where you contribute, and when you leave, you take everything, you take your own contribution and some part of the employer's contribution. And what happened then is that if you find yourself working in 3, 4, 5 organizations, you collect your benefit, you use it up, and at the end of the day, if you move before retirement, if you are working like 4, 5, 6 organizations, and the last organization you worked with, maybe for 5 years, you have nothing to go on with. That will happen in the past. So people jump from one place to the other, and when finished, they complete your benefit, give it to you. Nobody actually save it for you or keep it for you or invest it for it to retirement. Now, the only thing you have then was the provident fund scheme, and how much of people are contributing to the provident fund scheme. It cannot even take you anywhere. 4 naira per employee in those days. What would that hand you today in retirement? So the public sector, yes, they do have what we call defined benefit scheme, which was based on the terminal salary. Very good scheme, very fantastic scheme. But when you look at the funding, that's where we have the issue in Nigeria. Majority of public sector employees, they do retire and be on the queue waiting for their benefit to be paid. Some of them died while waiting for the benefit to be paid. In as much as the benefit is good, but getting the money is what is very important. Now, if you look at what contributory pension scheme has come to do, is to revolutionize all of this. At that point in time also, we don't have an entity that regulates what happens in the retirement benefit space in Nigeria. The only similarly regulation we have then is the Joint Tax Board. And why do we really have the Joint Tax Board? It's just for the sponsor, any employer that set up a retirement benefit scheme, to have a tax benefit for whatever contribution employer has made into the scheme. So that's why people comply. And so yes, they file their return to Joint Tax Board to have a certificate so that they can claim tax relief. Other than that, nobody look at what is the composition of the benefit, the structure of the benefit, how they administer it. Nobody cares. Nobody looked at it. So any employer under the scheme has got something to fall back to when you retire. As an employee, every 24 or 30 days of the month, something is paid to your account. You're already used to something at a specific time. When you work for 35 years, you can imagine the trauma if a month or two after that 30 years or 35 years in service, nothing is coming into your account. It's going to dislocate you, and that itself is something that affects the retiree most. But when you are a member of the contributory pension scheme, which we are operating now, you retire 6 months to retirement, you're already talking with your PFA, you're already discussing which option are you going to take, are you going to take your benefit, are you taking 50% as lump sum, are you taking 45%, what is your terminal benefit, What is the 50% of your terminal benefits will earn you and all of that? All of this is worked out to, are you going to take an annuity or a program withdrawal? All of it is discussed 6 months to retirement. So upon retirement, in the next 1 month, you're already on the pension payroll. What can be better than that? Right, thank you very much. People keep mixing that together. We are pension fund custodian. 2 of us who are set up by law to manage and administer pension scheme in Nigeria. Why one deals with the individuals, open accounts for every employee in Nigeria, the other one keeps the assets. So we are in the back office to the PFA. It's the PFA that comes to you and I to come and open your retirement benefits with them. They manage it, they invest the fund in line with the regulations, and also instruct the custodian to pay. The custodian owns the assets on behalf of the PFA in trust for the beneficiary, which is the employee, and also ensure that the PFA manages the fund in line with the regulation. So there's kind of a tripartite arrangement. You have the PFA, the PFC, and the regulator. So when the PFA goes about open retirement savings account, the custodian on behalf of the PFA do the collection of the pension contribution, and when the PFA is doing the investment, it is the custodian that disburses the money, that does the administrative aspect of the investment, ensure that investments are done as prescribed, and also ensure that all assets backing the investment are kept in safe custody. And if there's anybody leaving, once that's been cleared and approved by the commission, the PFA gives instruction. So it is the custodian that disburses to the account of the retirees.
STANBIC IBTC Pension Managers Limited is one of the earliest pension fund administrators in Nigeria. The firm was set up primarily to deliver quality pension administrative and management services to both the private and public sector employees. STANBIC IBTC Pension enjoys a rich tradition resulting from a long-age proven record in money management and long-held values of protection and improvement of customers' wealth. STANBIC IBTC Pension focuses on the client and their total well-being. A lot of people choose STANBIC IBTC because of safety of investment, successful financial track record, payment convenience with multiple locations in every state. With STANBIC IBTC, it's all about retiring well and living well.
So in STANBIC IBTC, our focus is on you, the client. We put you at the center of everything you do. And we are not about pushing a product, a pension product or an asset management product. We are about you. We are very much interested in how you make money, how you preserve money, how you grow and ensure your assets in that journey, and how you live a lifestyle. So, like I mentioned, in Standard Bank Group, we have exposure to all the international markets across Africa and in the international financial jurisdictions. And in Nigeria, we have 11 companies in STANBIC IBTC. So we are focused on an end-to-end offering. We are focused on including every one of our customers and provide them access to all that. There's no point in being interested in your pension, and we're not interested in how you make the money or how you insure your assets as that way go. You may wish to retire well, but you also have to live well. So insuring your assets, investing appropriately, transacting appropriately, growing your business appropriately, that's the whole value package that we have in STANBIC IBTC. And we deploy that to all our customers because it's in our group. Once you're a client of the group, you should be able to have access to these services, and it should be able to move you forward, as we say. The National Pension Commission has done quite a lot trying to onboard states to participate. I think the challenge with states has been the issue of funding. It is a requirement of the pension laws that the employer co-funds what the employee puts in place without even going through any set of numbers. What it simply means is that you are giving at least a 10% increase on your payroll, which is quite difficult considering the level of funding for states. And states are different levels of participation. There are states that are fully on board and doing very well, and they are actually leading lights for other states. And there are states that are closely at that level. But the commonality is that every state is interested. Every state desires to participate, because they know the burden of future unrest is being petered away as we are today. Does your finances allow you to do what you wish? Maybe the answer is no. States are at different levels of participation, and that's based on the differing levels of financial buoyancy that they have. So it's a journey. I guess the political will is there. I do not think there's any state that actually said no, we will not join. They are interested. They have put in place machineries. A lot of states have passed the law. They've gone through the legislative process and have passed it. So law is binding. Question is, are the processes in place? PFAs may have been registered. Some are in the process of concluding that registration of administrators. Some are in the process of funding, making the money available. Depending on the state finances, we have different experiences there. But in conclusion, I would say the will is there. It's a good offering, and it's a good product for the government and the employees. We pay unfailingly before the 28th. It can change based on public holidays, a weekend, and stuff like that. But the idea is between the 15th and 20th, every retiree should be paid. And since the inception of this scheme, we have paid over 200 billion to retirees, about 50,000 or so that we have on our payroll unfailingly, and it's almost like it's automatic. So people do not feel the difference between salary and a pension payment. In terms of awareness and education, we have quite a lot of programs we do. We were the first to start a retiree forum. We have moved on to a pre-retiree forum. We also have a customer forum that we do, and we do this every quarter in most of the geopolitical areas. Then we have specific engagements for our, we call it interactive sessions, where a company or a group of people will allow us to come in. Remember, we deal with the employees. We cannot go to an employer location and say we want to engage our customer. They won't allow us through the gate. So you have to plan, agree. Then you cannot shut down a factory because you want to talk about pension. If it's doing work hours, the employer has to agree that, okay, this set of people will come at 10 to 2. So it involves quite a lot of logistics and administration pre-planning. To the extent that we have approval and the willingness to engage, we would come to you. We will go. We have what we call pension on wheels. Most are mobile buses, fully functional offices. Everything you see here, you can do in those buses. So we deploy to our employer sites, and once we are allowed to pack, we begin our work and we engage and provide our services to the customers. So it's a function of the willingness of the marketplace. PFAs are generally more than ready to provide the education and the awareness. We are actually demanding what we call a report to society, where the people that raise the money now have to tell us what is the impact of the monies that they have used. And last couple of weeks, we were at a particular debt fund, and they were able to clearly demonstrate the amount of employment they've generated by what the monies they raised have done, the amount of sustainable principles that they've impacted in these companies, and it's quite encouraging. So you find that in a shell program of maybe 200 billion that has raised maybe 15 billion, has been able to create almost like 300 direct jobs, almost like a further 200 indirect jobs, because they are providing power. So there are a lot of linkages in that, and we're now trying to get the off-takers of our investment activities to be able to align and communicate what these things have been. So quite a lot of the monies have actually been invested in productive things. The government borrows, yes, they're the largest borrower, and we cannot query the government to say, oh, what did you do with the treasury bills you bought? So we'll still have that gap, but just as the government is funding the budget, and we all see what the budget is supposed to do, it's part of the money that's being raised. So over time, you will find out that we will be a bit more clearer in the ways we report, and we will give you a report to society, and everybody begins to see the impact of what pension funds have done in and around you, in your environment, and that should reduce some of the burden.
This is Business and Economy Network.
Well, via this time we permit us today on this unique program. We looked at the issue of pension fund administration and custodian in Nigeria. You've heard what the CEOs have said. But remember this word of great Pele, who said, success is never accidental. It takes practice, practice, and practice. All these guys you have watched today, they have done so very well, and it takes effort to put all they are doing together to serve you and I and to make our economy better. I'm doing my own part. What about you? On behalf of production crew, I will see you again same time next week. God's willing. Stay blessed.